What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday. Today we're gonna have fun, and today we are playing a Gliscor deck. Yes, we're playing a Gliscor Sandile deck. Sandile deck. No Crocodile. I think it's his next evolution is a Crocodile or something like that. Crocodile. I think it's something like that. That's what Sandile evolves into. But none of that. Just a good old Sandile. And before we go into the list and talk about it, we need to give a shout out, or I need to give a shout out to Matthew Brower. At regionals 2 weeks ago in Athens, I talked to Nathan, talked to Matt, and we're talking about a list, talking about what they're playing, and Matt was like, yeah, I'm playing this really secret deck, and Nathan was like, don't tell him what it is, keep it a secret. And so they kept it a secret, and this is the deck that he was playing. Unfortunately, Matt did hit some bad matchups. He played against Trevenant and Virizion Genesect, which does give this deck a lot of trouble, because, well, I'll show you why later on why it gives the deck trouble. Of course, Trevenant gets a lot of deck troubles because of the, because of the no items. Like, that's always really bad for your deck, especially for a deck like this where we rely a lot on item cards. But here we go. This is the Gliscor Sandile deck. I never thought I'd play something like this. Oh my goodness, but I'm so excited. And let's go over the deck and let's see what's it about. And every Pokemon kind of, like, it really does matter what Pokemon you're playing. Alright, so first up is this Gligar. I'm not sure if there's another one in format, but this is the one you want to play because it does have the stun poison. Flip a coin of heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed and poisoned, which means your opponent can't attack you. They're poisoned, so they're taking 10 damage in between turns, which is really nice, and that's really cool. And that's 70 HP, which is a pretty decent amount of HP for a basic in this format. Like, I know we have Combies and stuff like that. They have 40 and 50 HP. Jolteon, I guess Pumpkaboo has 60, but 70 seems like a good rounded number for a basic Pokemon. Alright, so its evolution is going to be Gliscor. And yep, this is our main attacker right here. Gliscor has the attack Submission Hold. It does 20 damage. 20 damage is what we're going to do this game, and that's how we're going to do 20 damage to win. I promise. That's what we're going to do. Alright, so Submission Hold, your opponent can't attach any energy from his or her hand to the defending Pokemon during his or her next turn. Yes, they can attach energies to their active Pokemon when you attack it. And this, you might be kind of confused, like, alright, Squeaky, what are you talking about? How does this deck win? Of course, your opponent can attach stuff to the bench and be A-okay. But you gotta remember that a lot of decks don't play Switch cards. They don't play Switch. They don't play Escape Rope. They might play AZ. A lot of the decks in Expanded rely on Keldeo and Float Stone, and Float Stones overall. Like, that's their main way of switching. They don't play Switch. They don't play Float Stone. So if you can Gliscor and use Submission Hold and keep a Pokemon trapped forever, and making it where they can't attach energies to it to retreat, maybe put a head ringer on it to make it where they can't put a Float Stone on it, you might be okay. You can actually steal games from the fact that your opponent doesn't play Switch, which is why Submission Hold is such a good attack right now, and this is why I love the deck. I mean, even our deck right now, let's look, we don't play any Switch. We play 2 Float Stone, no Switch, which is crazy. We don't even play Keldeo, so if somebody stays asleep, they're asleep forever, unless we wake up, of course. So we play Submission Hold, does 20 damage. You might be saying, alright, Squeaky, you do 20 damage, you're eventually going to knock out the Pokemon, but that's why we play a 2-2 Dusknoir line. Dusknoir has the Sinister Hand ability, which can move the energies, or move the damage cards off the active 2-bench Pokemon to make it where your opponent, they make it that active never gets knocked out, so if your opponent doesn't have a Switch or an Escape Rope, they just scoop, or they just sit there and just take a hit, you move the damage, take a hit, move the damage, and you're going to be A-okay, and you're going to win the games with this Dusknoir, Gliscor combo, which is pretty crazy. Now, we do play one Sandile. Yep, one Sandile. And I actually want to play 2 Sandile in this deck. Like, Sandile is really broken, which I just said a basic is really broken, but I promise it's really good. It has the attack Sandtomb. It does 10 damage. Alright, so we're doing even less damage now. But the defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. Once again, this is really good. If you're playing against a deck that has like Hoopas or Jirachis and your opponent doesn't play like Psychic or Metal Energies, what you could do is Lysandre them up to the active spot and then use Sandtomb to keep them stuck there, because now they can't retreat it. They can attach energies to it all day they want to, but they can't retreat it. It's just stuck there. They can't do anything. Once again, if they don't play Switch, Escape Rope, or AZ, it's just going to sit there forever and just going to keep getting smacked by Sand Tomb and Sand Tomb and Sand Tomb. And this is just going to keep on happening forever until your opponent scoops the game or you do like a ton of damage, like I don't like 500 something damage because you need to knock out 3 EX Pokemon with Sandile, which is crazy. And you can see how this deck kind of works. Now, look at your expanded list and tell me how many Switch and Escape Rope do you play? Do you play 1? Do you play 0? A lot of lists might say 1 or 0. And if they play the 1, sure, they can break the lock for a second, but you can just Lysandre back up to the active, use Submission Hold again, maybe use, you know, the Sand Tomb again, and you're going to be A-okay, which is really, really nice. So that's the deck. Of course, we play 1 Shaymin and 1 Jirachi for consistency reasons to help set up. So there we go. There's Gliscor and Sandile. You can see how the deck kind of works. We're to keep Pokemon locked in the active spot by making it where they can't touch any energies or they can't retreat, and we're going to make sure they never get knocked out because of Dusknoir, which is really amazing. Alright, so we play 1 Computer Search for consistency reasons, of course. 1 Level Ball to search for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, which can get you Gligar, Gliscor, Sandile, and Duskull. 1 letter to search for 2 Fighting Energies, 2 Rare Candy to get out your Dusknoirs, of course. 1 Super Rod to get back most of your Pokemon because Sandile and Gliscor only need 1 energy to attack, which is really nice. 1 Tool Scrapper, which can get rid of Float Stone, which is the main thing here. You want to get Float Stones off of Keldeo so that way they can't retreat and you start using Submission Hold where it's stuck forever in the active spot. 4 Ultra Balls, 4 VS Seeker, of course for consistency reasons. Every deck pretty much plays 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. 1 Colress, 4 Korrina, which is really great in this deck because you search for a fighting Pokemon and an item card. So with this, you can get like a Sandile and a Focus Sash or a Head Ringer or something, and then get a Gliscor out and stuff like that. 2 Lysandre to bring a Pokemon off the bench. 2 in for Juniper, and 2 Team Flare Gun. If your opponent does go first, or second, or something, like, let's say I go first, I get down to Gliscor, or blah, blah, blah. Next turn, I have Team Flare Gun, and then get the Gligar out and start using the Submission Hold, so they can't attach any energies to it. That could be great as well, which I do like Team Flare Gun a lot. Maybe you can Lysandre a Keldeo, use Sand Tomb, making where they can't retreat or something. I don't know, and then you can next turn you use Team Flare Gun, retreat into a Gligar or something, or Gliscor and start using Submission Hold. Team Flare Gun's really good for that early game disruption. 1 Xerosic to get rid of a tool or special energy. Once again, to get rid of Float Stones and put on the Head Ringers onto Keldeos for the most part. 2 Float Stone to give onto our Dusknoir, because Dusknoir does have a 3 retreat cost, and you need the Float Stones to retreat them. I would actually hold on to your Float Stones until you really need them, until your opponent Lysandres up a Dusknoir, because you don't want them to, like, Tool Scrapper then Lysandre, and you're out of Float Stones or something. 3 Focus Sash, which is MVP in this deck. Like I said, they do break the lock. They do have to get rid of a Focus Sash now, and if you're at full HP and a fighting Pokemon's knocked out, instead of being knocked out, it has 10 HP less, and you discard this Focus Sash, so that way your Gliscor can kind of survive by 2 turns. 2 Head Ringer. It can only be attached to EX Pokemon, but our main threat in this format is Keldeo EX. So you Head Ringer Keldeo, once again Lysandre, and you pretty much win the game from there. And they need 1 more energy to attack, which could be pretty useful in some situations. 4 Strong Energy, so your fighting Pokemon do 20 more damage, and 3 Fighting Energy for 7 total Fighting Energies. So there is our Gliscor Sandile deck. Once again, shout out to Matthew Brower. He is the one who made the list, sent it to me, and we are showcasing his list off today. I think this is a really interesting deck. Go try it out for your expanded format. I know expanded format doesn't really matter anymore. It's kind of just for fun right now. And why not have some fun while playing this Gliscor deck? If you have any fun expanded decks that you want to see as well, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll make sure to check those out. But hopefully you enjoyed this list. Thanks for watching, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, you're playing against Danny H Pro, playing a Lightning, Fighting, Steel, and a Grass deck. And let's see, what are we playing against? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm not sure, but we won the coin. We won the coin flip. So yes, we'll like to go first. Now to our turn. Let's see what kind of start can we have. Alright, so we start with Sandile. I'm not sure if Sandile is somebody we really want to start with. It has a 2 retreat cost. We have Duskull as well, so both of these are not the best of attackers, or best of starters. So I guess I'm going to start with Duskull. Alright, so my opponent's going to choose the Pokemon. We'll press done. We might put down Sandile. Let's see what our opponent decides to do. There's a Jolteon. Okay, so we'll put down Sandile. We will Korrina, and with the Korrina, we'll search out a Gligar And I think a Float Stone would be great. Yeah, we'll grab Gligar first. So grab Gligar. No, let's grab a letter. Yeah, I think grabbing a letter might be a little bit better. So let's grab a letter, put down the Gligar, play the first letter, search for 2 fighting energies. Alright, so attach one of the fighting energies to the Gligar, and we will just end our turn. Now, opponent's not really a threatening attack the next turn. The only thing that's scary is that this Jolteon does have free retreat, so my opponent is going to be able to attach energies to the bench and stuff like that. There's a lightning energy going to the active, okay. And since they committed the lightning energy is active, they're not going to be able to attack with a bench Pokemon next turn, depending if they play like Mega Turbos or Max Elixir. There's an Ultra Ball, discarding a Juniper and an Egg, okay. I think it must be some kind of Mega Manectric deck. There's a Jirachi, okay. And what will we see with the Stellar Guidance, I wonder? Will we see an N or a Juniper? They just discarded Juniper, so there's an N coming out. Going to N, put both of those at 6 new cards. Now, if we hit a Korrina, we can get a Float Stone and a Gliscor, so that'd be great. So we're going to draw 6 new cards, and that's not a good hand. There's a Battle Cresser. Well, what we can do next turn is we can be kind of weird. We can license this Jirachi, and if my opponent does play a Switch card, we might be okay. Yeah, if they don't play any Switch cards, well, if they play Float Stone, they can get out of it, obviously. If they play Switch, Escape Rope, AZ, they can get out of the Jirachi. But let's see, my opponent discards a Archeops, Maxis, and another Egg, okay. There's a Max Elixir, and it's weird that they use a Max Elixir right now while Jirachi's on the bench, because they can only Max Elixir to the Jirachi. There's a Trainer's Mail, let's see what my opponent decides to get. And yeah, I'm just going to Float Stone, Lights out of the Jirachi, and use Sand Tomb and start locking the Jirachi. There's a VS Seeker going to my opponent's hand, okay? And there's a Puzzle Time, alright? So Puzzle Time being played. Are they playing one, or are they rearranging the top 3 cards of their deck? I wonder what they're doing. Now, if my opponent doesn't play Lightning Energies, he can't actually attack with Jirachi, which would be really nice. Okay, it looks like he just arranged his top 3 cards of his deck, and we'll probably see a Swift do 30. Alright, so on our turn, let's see what's going to happen. Well, we got a Headringer as well, so we can Headringer the Jolteon, make it where it needs another energy to attack. We'll Float Stone, Lysandre up this guy. Free retreat. I guess we could win for a Gliscor this turn, but I think going for the Sandile right now probably be the better play. Fighting energy, and let's see how much. Well, I don't think my opponent can really use Flash Ray next turn, and we have resistance, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, we're gonna Sand Tomb for 10, make our opponent can't retreat next turn. All right, so 10 damage going on to the Jirachi, only for our opponent's turn. Now we know they have a VS Seeker in their hand, so there's a Lightning Energy to the active, but hey, they can't retreat because Sand Tomb is making it where they can't retreat, which is great. There's a VS Seeker, gonna grab the Juniper instead of the N, gonna play the Juniper, discard their hand, draw 70 cards, discarding a DC and a Professor letter. And I bet my opponent doesn't know what Sandile does. Alright, so pass on to our turn. We get a Team Flare Grunt. I'm going to hold that right now. We'll go for another Sand Tomb for another 10 damage. And we just got to find a Dusknoir. If we can find a Rare Candy, a Korrina, we can get the Dusknoir out and make it where Jirachi never gets knocked out. There's a Flash Energy going down to the Jolteon. Alright, and a pass on to our turn. We get a Tool Scrapper. Alright, so use Sand Tomb one more time. Bring it up to 30 damage. Can Sandile take a knockout on this Jirachi or not? Almost my opponent's turn, they draw another card. And they probably have no idea what Gligar does, but this Jolteon is powered up, ready to go. Alright. So, will my opponent try to retreat now and realize that, hey, we can't retreat. So pass on to our turn. Alright, so there's a Strong Energy. We'll put the Strong Energy on the Gligar. We'll put a Focus Sash on it as well, just in case my opponent decides to get risky. We'll use another Sand Tomb, okay? For another 10 damage, bring it up to 40. And we're just waiting to hit this Korrina or a Rare Candy to get out this Dusknoir. If we can get this out, we can maybe make it where Jirachi can never get knocked out. There's an Acrobike. Going to discard a Flash Energy. There's a Puzzle Time, okay? And let's see what my opponent decides to get out with the Puzzle Time. They rearrange top 3 cards of their deck. There's another energy going down to the Jolteon, okay? And a pass on to our turn. Alright, so we get a Korrina. So now with the Korrina, we can get a... Let's see, we get a Gliscor. And we can get a Rare Candy. Yeah. So we'll get those two. We'll get the Gliscor. We'll get the Rare Candy. We will Rare Candy into the Gliscor. Oh man, sorry. Ultra Ball to the Gliscor. To the Dusknoir. Yeah, that seems fine. We'll put down the Gliscor. We will Ultra Ball, discard the Duskull and the Tool Scrapper. And with this, we will get out our Dusknoir. So now the Jirachi will never get knocked out. We'll Rare Candy into the Dusknoir. And things are looking great for us. Alright, so we're going to put that down. We're going to use the Sinister Hand ability. Move the 40 from Jirachi onto this Jolteon. So there's 10 being moved on that guy. We'll do it again. Do it again. Alright, so there we go. Just keep moving the damage counters off of this Jirachi. Move another 10. Alright, and now we'll go for another Sand Tomb. We'll press done. Go for a Sand Tomb for that 10 damage and making where that Jirachi can once again not retreat. Alright, so onto my opponent's turn. Let's see what's going to happen. Do they play Switch or Escape Rope or AZ is the main question. There's a Rough Seas coming out, and they're going to heal 30 damage from that Jolteon. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright. But we're going to... Okay, there's Computer Search. Time to find out, does my opponent play this card or not? And if they man, we might be able to knock out this Jolteon next turn if we can get another energy. Poison Jab, 6, 8. Yeah, that'd be a knockout. Oh my goodness. Okay, so my opponent gets a card. If this is not a Switch or an AZ, we should be able to win this game by just decking out my opponent. There's an Ultra Ball. Go to discard a Flash and a... What is that? Full heal? Okay, for another Jolteon. Alright. We'll see a Jolteon come down, and will we see a Switch or an AZ? That is the question. And there's a VS Seeker, so Maxie's hit a Ball Trick. We will see an Archeops coming out, and this is actually kind of scary because now we can't evolve our Pokemon anymore. So my opponent gets 5 new cards. Alright, there's a Max Elixir once again, but man, I don't know what my opponent's going to do. Okay, so pass on to our turn. Alright. And now what we can do is we can use Dusknoir Sinister Hand, move the 10 damage onto this guy. Alright, and we'll press done. And once again, we'll keep using Sand Tomb, make where my opponent cannot retreat this Jirachi, going up to 20 onto my opponent's turn. And let's see what else do they have. I guess we could have moved the 20 damage off to his Archeops, just in case they do play an AZ. But we have not seen an AZ. No Escape Rope, no Switch, no Keldeo, not even a Float Stone, actually. I don't think we've seen a Float Stone either. So there is an Acrobike. Looks like they're going to discard a Silent Lab. Doesn't really matter. I guess we play Jirachi and Shaymin. So into our turn, we draw a Gliscor once again. Let's move the 20 damage off just in case my opponent does get out a AZ. So we're going to move that 20 damage, 10 onto that guy, 10 on this guy. We'll press done, and we'll go for another Sand Tomb. And like I said, we're never going to knock out this Jirachi. We should be able to seal this game up. Onto my opponent's turn, they're going to draw another card, going down to 12. And will we see Gliscor even attack this game? I don't think so. But, okay, onto our turn, we get a Gligar. Gligar's pretty much useless. Once again, we'll move that 10 damage just in case they do play that AZ. Bring it up to 40 on that guy. We'll use, press done, use Sand Tomb, doing 10 more damage. And, we gotta do this 12 more times. Oh my goodness. Alright, so 11 cards left for my opponent. Can they find a way to retreat this Jirachi or not? A pass onto our turn. We get a VS Seeker. Once again, we will Sinister Hand, move the 10 onto this Archeops. And now, I guess the only downside if my opponent does knock us out, we can't immediately get a new Sandile out. But if we hit an Super Rod and our opponent does knock out Sandile, we could Super Rod, shove back in the Sandile, Ultra Ball for the Sandile, back out. And we need another energy as well. But I'm still feeling confident, feeling really okay. And there's a victory screen coming out. It does not seem like my opponent plays a way to switch out this Jirachi. So Sandile being the MVP there, that's pretty crazy to say. Like, Sandile, Dusknoir, like, that could be a deck by itself. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we go, taking the game against the Jolteon Archeops deck. Obviously, Archeops is shut down evolutions, but we did evolve before my opponent got down the Archeops. The only thing we really had to evolve into was our Sandile. So let's look at my opponent's deck and let's see, do they play any switching guards? They did play one Escape Rope. Oh, so they did have one Escape Rope, but I'm pretty sure that Escape Rope was prized because my opponent did use Computer Search. And yes, all they played was that one Escape Rope. No AZ, no Switch, Oh my goodness, so I was really looking for us to have Escape Rope being prized. Jirachi was in the deck as well, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, so it was just a Jolteon, Archeops, Gallade deck. But don't worry, we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second, and hopefully we see some Gliscor action and not just Sandile MVP, which, man, I'm most likely thinking this deck is like Sandile MVP than Gliscor overall. Alright, let's see what happens in the next game. Alright, so against Zan Pokemon playing a dark and a water deck. Hopefully this is not an Yveltal deck, because Yveltal is kind of boring, because it's kind of like the same strategy of making it where my opponent, if they play Keldeo, we just license up, use Sandile, and we're good to go. So we start Gligar, we got Korrina, we got multiple options. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen, and what are we playing against? There's a Darkrai. So we get, oh my goodness, this is such a good start. We will Korrina. And with the Korrina, we'll grab a Gligar. Sandile MVP is in the deck as well, and we'll grab a Level Ball. I think we'll keep the Sandile secret right now. So we'll grab the Level Ball. We will put down Gligar, Level Ball for another Gligar. For another Gligar. Yeah, seems fine. Yeah, whatever. We'll grab another one. Seems okay. Put down the Gligar, and we will we'll end our turn. I really don't want to touch the Fighting Energy, because against Dark, you never know what potential turn 1 they can have. They could have a turn 1 knockout on this guy. Somehow Lysandre or Gligar taking a knockout as well. So I don't want to take any risk right now. So let's see what my opponent decides to do. There's a Dark Energy to the active. Okay. I'm actually okay with that. No one in! No one in! Alright, so the big question is, though, does my opponent play Keldeo, and do they play Float Stone? I mean, they probably do. Okay, that's a pretty good hand. We just, man, oh my goodness, man, it's so good. All right, so there's a Yveltal coming down. Okay, that could be. And there's the Keldeo coming down, but we do have Headringer, which is really, really good right now. If my opponent does not pull a Float Stone on it, there's a Training Spell. Good on the top 4 cards of their deck. There's a Dark Patch, which is not useful right now. Okay. And we can Headringer that Keldeo, making it where we can Lysandre up and keep it stuck in the active spot. So into our turn, we get a Jirachi. Everything's just in our hand. Alright, so we're going to Headringer this guy, of course. That's our best thing to Headringer. We'll Korrina. And with the Korrina, we'll search out a Gliscor. And let's see, is Letter in the deck? And Letter is in the deck. That's great. So we'll grab Gliscor. And we'll grab a Professor's Letter. Come to me, Professor Letter. We will Letter for two Fighting Energies, 1 and 2. Okay. We will put a Fighting Energy on the active. Put down a Gliscor. We will put down another Gliscor, Rare Candy, and 2 Dusknoir. And we might just go for a Submission Hold. We could maybe play Shaymin. But I guess we could search for a Focus Sash. But no, let's just go for a Submission Hold right now. Next turn we can Jirachi for a Lysandre. Yeah, so that seems great. Almost my opponent's turn. Let's see what's going to happen. If they don't attach a Dark Energy to this Keldeo, we might be okay, and we might be able to win the game with this Gliscor. Alright, so let's see. Team Fish Knuckles, I'm a fan. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, thank you. Alright, hold on a second. Sorry. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so let's see what my opponent is a fan of the channel. Alright, that's a good thing. That's a great thing. Alright, but like I said, next turn we can Jirachi for Lysandre, bring out that Keldeo, and maybe be okay. There's a Dark Energy to this guy, which I'm okay with. Alright, so there's a Fighting Free Belt going onto the Darkrai. Don't really care about that, and a pass onto our turn. And a Juniper top deck, that's great. So we're going to Jirachi. We're going to use Stellar Guidance. We're going to search for a Lysandre. Come to me, Lysandre. And let's Lysandre up this Keldeo. And we should be okay as long as the opponent does not play an AZ or anything like that. Let's put a Fighting Energy on the bench Gliscor. And let's go for the Submission Hold for another 20 damage. Okay. So we're going to start, as part of that, start attacking that Keldeo. We have the, we have Dusknoir to start moving the damage. And I think we're going to be A-okay. There's a Dark Energy going to Darkrai. Don't care about that. Like I said, as long as they don't play Switch, Escape Rope, or AZ. There's a Colress. We'll play the Colress right now if you draw 7 cards. Seems a little bit better. And let's see, can we find a Strong? There's a Focus Sash. We'll put it on one of these guys. And we'll go for another. Let's use Dusknoir once again. We don't want to waste these damage counters if my opponent does decide to play an AZ. So we'll put 10 on that guy. We'll put another 10 on this guy. Okay. We'll press done, and we'll go for another submission hold for 20 damage. Now, we do have a Lysandre, so we can bring this Keldeo back up to the active spot, which is great. That's great to know. We have Computer Search as well, maybe for Float Stone, my opponent Lysandre something up. So we're looking okay. Like, it looks like we're going to win this game. On to our turn. We get an Ultra Ball. We'll go for another submission hold. We'll do 40 every turn. We won't move the 20 every time. On to my opponent's turn. They still can't attach any Dark Energy to the active. Okay, so we'll just keep on going. There's a Max Elixir, gonna search the deck for Dark Energy, and there's a Dark Energy going down to the Darkrai. Okay, and another pass. All right, we'll move the 40 from the active onto these guys. So let's move 20 onto this guy, bring it up to 40, and then we'll put 2 apiece on him. So that way they have both like the equal amount of damage. So another 20. Bring it up to 40. We'll put 1 on this guy. I know Dusknoir is never fun to watch. I apologize for this, but Gliscor is taking a win. Oh my goodness, I feel so confident right now. So 10 damage going to that guy. We'll press done. Use another submission hold for another 20 damage. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's keep on going. On to my opponent's turn. We have 120 on the field right now. And can we take the win or not? Like I said, if they do get a Lysandre, we can get a Float Stone. On to our turn. We get an in. We'll use another submission hold for another 20. Alright, so on to my opponent's turn. Once again, we'll probably move the 40 damage off. We could Computer Search for Fighting Energy, but I think keeping Computer Search in her hand is a better play. I guess we could use Korrina as well. Maybe get out another Gliscor, which could be useful, or just get it out of our deck so that we don't draw into it. And alright, we're going to keep on going. Let's see, can my opponent find a way to get this Keldeo out of the active spot or not? There's a fighting people going down to the Yveltal, which doesn't really matter. Just gives it more HP. There's a Dark Energy into it as well. Oh, no, it doesn't give more HP. Oh, yes, it does. It's only when it's active. Okay. We'll Korrina. And like I said, we'll at least get a Gliscor out. We could show him Sandile, be like, oh, here's a Secret Tech Sandile. We'll probably keep it a secret right now. Let's see, do we really need any of these cards? We'll grab Tool Scrapper maybe for later. Wait, is there a Focus Sash? Yeah, so we'll get the Tool Scrapper for sure. So yeah, we'll grab Tool Scrapper. We'll put down this guy. And we'll move the 40 damage off one more time. Once again, I apologize that Dusknoir is not fun to watch. We'll move 20 onto this guy. 1 and 2. My opponent says, interesting strategy. Oh, the strategy is working as well, which is great. So move 2 onto this guy. Okay, so we have 140 on the field right now. In 2 turns, we can knock out that Darkrai if we want to. So another 20 damage onto that guy. We'll press done. Use another submission hold for another 20 damage. And I'm feeling really confident about this matchup right now. So another 20 damage only to my opponent's turn. Okay. Can they? The question still remains: do they play a switch or escape rope or an AZ? On to our turn, we get a Juniper. We'll use another submission hold, bring it up to 40. Okay. So there's going to be 180 damage on the field. I'm still going to opt not to take the knockout right now. We really don't need it. We could Ultra Ball, maybe get out another Dusknoir. So on our turn, we get an Ultra Ball. Let's use Sinister Hand one more time. Move 20 onto this Darkrai. Move 20 onto the Yveltal. So 10. 10. Move 20 onto this guy. Or move the 20 on this guy. Okay. So 10. And 10. Okay, and once again, we'll go for another submission hold. I know it's probably not interesting to watch, but the question is, can we do it or not? Let's go for another submission hold for another 20 damage. My opponent really hasn't done anything outside this and a Trainer's Mail. Maybe they're just holding onto cards in their hand as well. They have 180 on the field. Let's see, Darkrai has 180 plus 170, 3, I don't know, something. We'll go for another submission hold. Oh my goodness, what's 8 plus 7? 150? Yeah, there we go. So 350 plus another, my goodness, we need 480 damage on the field before we can take the game. That's a lot to ask for. All right, but we're still going strong. I believe in us. Sorry, it's not an interesting match. I usually don't dead draw this much. Oh no, oh no. I was wondering if they have dead drawing or not. There's a Dark Energy in this guy. Okay, so on our turn. We'll get another Focus Sash. We'll use Sinister Hand again. Move 20 onto this guy. I mean, I guess the question still remains, like, my opponent would be fine if they could put a Dark Energy on the active and retreat this Keldeo, but they can't. Like, that's the unfortunate part. We'll move 20 onto that guy, move another 20. Okay, so they're both up to 110. We will press done, use another submission hold. And we're going to be close to knocking out this Yveltal, so 20 damage onto that guy. Okay. Almost my opponent's turn. Oh, they both have Fighting Fury builds as well, so we can move, like, an additional, what, 80 damage? And that might be enough. Sandile make an appearance. What's up, Sandile? Alright, so we're going to get 40 damage. I'm just looking to draw into a Strong Energy. That's the main thing as well. Okay, so how much did I say? I say, well, man, I forgot about math. 400 something, right? That's the damage I need. Hey, Duskull. Oh, we could put down Duskull. That could be really useful right now. I'll move 20 damage onto this guy. And 20 damage on that guy. Alright, so they're both going to be at 130. Wow. Alright, so we'll keep on going. Going to get another one. Put on that guy. Okay. And yeah, let's put down this Duskull. Just in case my opponent gets, somehow knocks out our Dusknoir. So yeah, let's put down the Duskull. And let's go for another submission hold. Okay. So they're both at 130. We have 260, 280 on the board. Okay. We need like 400 or something, though. That's so much damage. But we might be able to do it. This guy has 40 HP left, though. On to our turn. We get a Korrina. We'll once again go for another submission hold. I guess we could have got another Dusknoir out this turn. So on to my opponent's turn. And like my opponent said, they don't have anything, but they probably just, like I said, they probably only play like one Escape Rope, maybe one AZ. Like most Dark decks only play one AZ. There's an Yveltal coming down. There's a Dark Energy attached to it, and now we can start moving these energies of damage onto this guy. So let's move the 40 straight onto this Yveltal. So there's 10. All right, so move all 40 onto this Yveltal. Okay, so now we need to do. Oh my goodness, we need to do 340 plus 180, which is 520. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we need 520 HP on the field. I'll press done one more time. We'll go for another submission hold. Okay, so I think it's 520, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 260, 300, 320, and we need 580 on the field. That's so much damage, but hey, we might be able to do it. On to our turn. Can we please get a Strong Energy? Oh my goodness, there we go. I just asked for it and I got it. Alright, so let's go for another submission hold. We can finally start doing additional 20 damage. Alright, so on to my opponent's turn. We can finally start speeding up the process. Okay. Let's see. Can my opponent even do anything or not? That's the real question. There's a Darkrai coming down. There's an Yveltal coming down. Okay. And there's a Dark Claw. Ooh, a Dark Claw instead of Muscle Band. That's interesting. They essentially do the same thing. You just can't attach a Dark Claw to a Keldeo. Alright, so you see Float Stone going to the Yveltal. There's a Juniper. Going to discard that hand. Drawing 7 new cards. So they really did have a really bad hand. Like, wow. 3 Dark Patches, a Hex Maniac, and a Bicycle. Okay. Alright, the question is, does my opponent have a switch? And there's a computer search. Time to find out what my opponent has. And if they only play one switch, we have another Lysandre in our hand to bring that Keldeo back into the active spot. My opponent's not going to be able to knock out this Gliscor straight away because we do have a Focus Sash on it, which is great. And does my opponent have anything to retreat this Keldeo or not? Do they have an AZ? Do they have a switch? Do they have an escape rope? They drew a card. And let's see, is it anything or not? Doesn't seem like it right now. I'm still feeling confident. Yeah, I'm feeling confident still. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. What does my opponent decide to do? How many VS Seekers are they down? No VS Seekers are down, okay? Alright, so let's see what my opponent decides to do. Can they find a way to retreat this Keldeo or not? We can move the 60 damage off to this Darkrai. And I just remembered that I don't have a switch or Tool Scrapper. Good game. Oh my goodness. No AZ? And there we go, we take the win against this Darkrai deck. As you can see, most of these decks do not play Switch. They don't play Escape Rope. They might play one AZ, but there we go. There is Gliscor taking the game against the Darkrai Keldeo deck. Some people might say it's a hard matchup, but there we go. You just trap their Keldeo in the active spot, making it where they don't have energies. And there's the daily challenge completed as well, getting 60 more tokens. Oh my goodness, there we go. Man, I was kind of, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared playing this deck, but after playing this deck, I'm really convinced this deck is really decent. Decent. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Matthew Brower, who actually gave me the list. He told me at regionals he was playing the deck, and I was like, there's no way you're playing this deck. And yeah, he did play the deck. Like I said earlier, he said his bad matchups are Virizion, Genesect, and Trevenant. I know in the beginning of the video I said more about it, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This Gligar, Sandile, Dusknoir deck, it is pretty crazy, but as you see, it does work. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Wait, we get a mystery box as well. Hold on. We get a mystery box, and which one do we want? I guess 60 tokens seems great, right? Do we get a mystery prize and 50 more tokens? Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, just want to give a quick shout out to our two sponsors, 60 Cards and Yeti Gaming. The links are down below to their websites. Make sure you go check them out. Alrighty.